This is a broadcast of SmallCapVoice.com, a financial communications and investor relations firm. SmallCapVoice.com receives payment for investor relations and financial consulting services that it provides to its clients. You should assume that officers, directors, and employees of SmallCapVoice.com or financial analysts mentioned and their families hold a position and intend to trade in these securities for their own accounts. This is not an offer or recommendation to buy or sell securities. Information in this broadcast is presented solely for informative purposes and is not intended to be, nor should it be construed as, investment advice. As in all investments, an investment in a featured company carries an investment risk. Listeners should review the company thoroughly with a registered investment advisor or registered stockbroker. This broadcast does not purport to be a complete study of the featured company or other companies mentioned. Information used and statements of fact have been obtained from the featured company and other sources but not verified nor guaranteed by SmallCapVoice.com as to completeness or accuracy. Such information is subject to change without notice.
You're wired in. SmallCapVoice.com. Following is a presentation of SmallCapVoice.com, today's leader in investor relations, capital formation, and retail support. Now, with your online business briefing, SmallCapVoice.com's Stuart T. Smith.
Welcome one, welcome all to this online business briefing brought to you by SmallCapVoice.com. And as you just heard, I'm your host, Stuart Smith. And we're welcoming back to the show RealBiz Media Group Incorporated. They're traded under the ticker symbol RBIZ. And we're lucky enough to be joined by the president and CRO of the company, Chief Revenue Officer, Mr. Steve Marcus. Steve, how are you today?
Fantastic, Stuart. Good to be with you.
Hey, thanks so much for calling back in and telling us a little bit about the RealBiz Media Group Incorporated story. Now, for the listeners that maybe didn't catch it last time around, if you would describe the company and its business model for us.
I sure will. RealBiz Media Group originally started years ago as RealBiz 360, one of the few virtual tour companies using technology to allow folks to do panoramas, view product, zoom in on cabinetry. We were just in the throes of that startup of the online version of real estate many years ago. In fact, some of our patents and some of our products were in the early years of Realtor.com and a few of the startup companies that started virtual tours many years ago. So we've been around as a virtual tour company, and for the most part, that's our core business. Today, if you were to look at the company, we've kind of migrated to mobile applications. We've migrated to websites, what we call IDX websites for agents. We've migrated to SEO components to allowing the agent to really gain good ranking and be seen by the Internet, as well as our social media products. So we've expanded heavily. And really, I think what it is it's the agent success. That's our motto, is to help the agents stand out in the crowd in a very hectic model with Google and Trulia and Zillow, and be known and be seen for little money and good technology.
Well, and there's a huge validation of your product by who you're partnered with. And listeners, all you need is that ticker symbol RBIZ. They're teaming up with Keller Williams, as well as their new farm and ranch division. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But let's talk about some of the technology. Start with EasyFlix for me.
I sure will. So the EasyFlix came around. It's a mobile application that allows you to make a video, create a video, actually add content to your listings. It's one of the few tools, if not the only tool today, that can allow you to ingest the listing, your listing, and create a cameo, kind of like a selfie, and then append it to the listing automatically, or create a video about your neighborhood community, your content that a little makes you known in the community, makes you more relevant as an agent. In today's market, that information is not relevant out there. It's just not available. It's just something that Google looks for and hasn't seen a lot of. So RealBiz, being obviously in the virtual tour business, felt the next step, the next generation of products, was to bring the agent into the limelight of a listing so that he or she could actually talk a little bit about their community, talk about the events, talk about why that person is obviously an expert in Austin, Texas, or Littleton, Colorado. And so what we did is we took the technology that RealBiz has had for many years, and the patents and some of the server technology, and built an application both on Android and iPhone that allows you to take and manipulate the listing. And what that means, Stuart, is that you can actually take the listing. We actually ship it to you. You don't have to actually, it automatically comes when you sign up because we know your number as an agent. And you can add a little pre-roll to it, a little bit introducing the property, which is pretty cool, right directly from the application itself. Or you can append a neighborhood video that maybe you shot on your cell phone, sometime during the day or a week or a month. Whatever's in your library or gallery allows you to append that video. Now, the greatest part of EasyFlix is it is less than 3 steps. You can add it, edit, change, manipulate, add the video, correct the video, do voiceovers, and publish all in 3 steps. Now, the reason we do that, of course, is agents are busy selling real estate. That's their core competency, and we're a technology company. So we use the aspect of what we've done to automate to create a very simple application for the agents to add a little personal touch to the listings. The greatest part of the application, I believe, is the fact because you are manipulating your listing, which is MLS-based, you can push that back out and syndicate it to popular spots like Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, and others. So you have an automatic way to syndicate your video. Beforehand, if you don't connect yourself to a listing, it's just a video with a link that you have to go to the bothersome trouble of connecting your link to your website or trying to find it and put it in an email. So we've completed the circle in EasyFlix to make it easy for the agent to do that kind of work. Very, very high productivity level because it's automated, and a very low touch. That means they have less than 3 steps to do it. The other great part about it is that you can take the application and use it personally. And what we mean by that is that if you don't have a listing, and we know that close to 800,000 agents in the United States may not have a listing at any one time, you can create a seller's video, you can create a listing video from just raw footage, from your phone, from a picture, from any video you have. Talk about the local community. Talk about the parks. And the greatest part for brokers are talk about the brokerage. Why does the brokerage exist? How long they've been in the community? Why are they particularly specialists in residential brokerages or commercial brokerages? Or again, as you mentioned farm and ranch. So the device was designed to create unique, sticky content so that Google and others see that agent as being relevant and local experts right from your mobile device.
That's terrific. Now talk about some of the recent successes since the rollout.
Well, this is the great news. Unfortunately, some of these are relatively fresh, so I won't be able to mention names. Be on the lookout for our press releases coming soon. They'll a little more detailed, but we've just landed 2 very large MLSs, both on the East Coast and the West Coast, that have adopted EasyFlix into their MLS system. One of them on the West Coast wants to put, for the first time, add video to the website of the MLS, which is relatively new for MLSs, which is phenomenal, and chose EasyFlix as the tool they're going to use to roll out to the entire member base. Now, that means for us as a company, number-wise, we get to upgrade the client. They get 1 video for free, and then we upgrade them at about a $29 to $49 price point, which is an incredible revenue opportunity for us because if you're part of the main core MLS, then as far as a member goes, you automatically get the app, and then upgrades can come, via these additional videos, additional soundtracks, all the fun stuff that you can do with the product over and above. The other big victory is our East Coast MLS, who actually puts it into their listing system so that you can actually access your listing from the EasyFlix device. So both MLSs are unique in the way they've approached it. Both of them are excited about the opportunity, making the whole process automated. Stuart, that means that essentially you could actually enter the listing right there from the mobile phone while you're at the seller's home, which really accentuates the product. It makes it more viable. It gives the seller of the home a chance to see their tour before they even publish it. It also means that for the agent's productivity, they can actually get the photos to their admins to get into the MLS right from the seller's home and not have to go back to the office. So EasyFlix is not only an agent productivity tool, but we see it as kind of an enhancement to the whole MLS listing service. Other recent announcements are that we've just got a big addition to one of our current contracts with ERA. I can mention them because it's an official project. We are enhancing ERA's listing services that we currently do by adding EasyFlix to the front end. And again, that means that every agent can have the tool to be able to access their listings and actually do that local neighborhood content, add the local listings, add the parks and recreation districts and stuff directly to their listings. So within the very short months that we announced EasyFlix, we are growing at a tremendous rate and look forward to this new revenue stream for the company, right to the bottom line.
Well, you've outlined already for us so many potential uses for EasyFlix. Are there any others that you haven't discussed yet?
Well, thank you, Stuart. Actually, yes. One of the things that the team decided when they built the product was to make it not only a simple product, as I mentioned, but a very useful tool for brokers and agents alike. And what I mean by that is brokers have a unique job of identifying why they are part of their community, what they do for services. And in particular, what that means for them is they need to run little mini commercials or vignettes, add it to their websites, add it to their local emails, and become relevant in their community. And I keep saying the word relevant. So EasyFlix was designed to be automated directly into the broker's websites and services, whereby Mr. Broker could potentially run a little commercial about themselves, about maybe their whole service in, the way they attack the residential community, the commercial community, relocation experts. One of the biggest areas in a brokerage is relocation experts, and there where EasyFlix could do a little cameo on a relocation expert and talk about how their services mean something to the community. And imagine this, instead of having to bring an entire video studio in, create an event where you're several $1,000s spent to bring videographers in, you could use your cell phone directly to create the mini vignette and automatically publish it to your website. Now, the reason that's so important, and I want to go on record by saying this, is that Google has lately been changing their algorithms. Video is now part of the mainstay environment, and it's not as, it still highly ranks you, but doesn't give you local presence. And so what Google looks for is unique, sticky content. And what that means is if a broker could shoot a video just from their cell phone or an agent or anybody in the office and could put one or two of them up every month, they become relevant to Google. They become the local experts. So we've developed a tool that could actually do a lot of the SEO work that they spend thousands of dollars doing monthly by adding keyword searches, adding meta tags, and all that great stuff in technology, whereby this tool gives them instant access, and it's relevant access. They can use it for pitching their community, pitching themselves. So EasyFlix is not just a listing tool. It is more of a community tool. It's more of a video asset tool, and really all like a mini commercial, basically, for the brokers and agents. And we find that fun, easy, and I think it's going to be highly accepted. So far, we've seen it to be the case in the very short months we've been out.
That's terrific. Now, the Nest Builder mobile app, does this build upon this already amazing technology, or is it a standalone product?
Glad you asked, Stuart. We have developed at Phase 1 to be standalone because it's on the other side of the fence called search. Now, what's unique about search out there, and you would probably ask, well, my gosh, there are many applications in search, in the Trulia, Zillows, and Realtor.com, Homes.com, and I mention all of them because they're great sites with a really important audience that watches their listings. We've developed a site that's a little different, and this is what the mobile app does. The agent can brand themselves as the local expert. So let's go back to what I said as being relevant and sticky and all about the broker and agent. We carried that into our Nest Builder application, whereby the agent says, okay, I'm going to send this link out to the sellers of homes or the buyers of homes, and I'm going to let them download not the link itself, but the search app itself, and I'm going to be the expert. So that means that I, as John Doe, could become the expert in Littleton, Colorado, and I'm sending the version of my link to the seller or the buyer or buyer's rep, and I'm telling them to search for a home. In that case, they always stay with John Doe. So if they're searching for a home, you never lose John Doe. And that's important in this world, that the agents stay completely the center of attention. And not for any other reason, because they are the expert and they can be helped by that client. So we've developed the app to be personal, directly to the agent, branded by the agent, followed and tracked by the agent, and the consumer knows that agent is to be the expert in that area, and the search capability, even, Stuart, if the listing isn't theirs. We follow what's called the IDX reciprocity rule, which means we still give record of the listing agent, but the agent showing the property gets front and center as the person delivering the search. Now, so you see the thing with RealBiz is empowerment of the agent, that agent success factor. So all of our products talk about the agent particularly, how they're relevant to that listing, how they're relevant to the community. And if we do that, we believe we'll be a huge success. If not already, we've done really well in our growth this year.
Well, what a terrific interview with you today, Steve. We really appreciate your insight. Clearly, you are somebody that knows this industry inside and out. And for the investors or potential investors, though, let's talk about market size so that they can get an idea of where RBIZ fits in. Go ahead.
Sounds great. Well, thank you, Stuart. Here's the reality. the agents out there, there are about 1.4 million registered agents, which means registered with the National Association of Realtors. There are well over 2 or 3 million agents that have had a license, suspended their license, and then what we call recreational use of their license whenever they have a chance to get back into the business. And we feel very strong that adding a tool to an already current application, it's your phone, and adding a very simple use of it to not only create listing presentations, talk about your community, and essentially append any listing that you might have would be a widely adopted application. We do not believe it's too narrow in focus, and therefore we're talking very small, percentage of market. So our initial take on this is with the registered agents to have about 10% of the market this year in the adoption of our both iPhone, iOS, and our Android series application in some form or fashion. Now, what this means to the company, of course, is if you get anywhere from about 120 to 150,000 agents on your system, the ability for the company to market its other products and services and valued services, such as our social media packages and our SEO packages, only leads to a greater margin and a greater profitability. So we are very poised on positioning EasyFlix with your local MLSs, with your brokers, with your enterprise accounts, so that we can garner that kind of touch factor and make sure that we have the ability to market other products and services to our agents. So I'm pretty proud of that fact, and I think we're going to do well this year gaining those goals.
Outstanding. Well, once again, Steve Marcus, President and CRO of RealBiz Media. You can find out more about the company at realbizmedia.com. Of course, that ticker symbol, one more time, RBIZ. Steve, thank you so much for coming on today. What a terrific interview. Have yourself a wonderful 2015. We expect great things from you and your company here in 2015 and beyond.
Thank you, Stuart, and your company as well. Thank you very much.
You bet. For Steve Marcus, this is Stuart Smith saying thanks so much for listening.
SmallCapVoice.com, today's leader in investor relations, capital formation, and retail support, provides its clients with the highest level of service. Our audio interviews are disseminated to one of the largest opt-in audiences available today. How? We at SmallCapVoice.com believe in aligning and affiliating ourselves with other leaders within the investor relations community. By sharing resources, each affiliated firm is made that much stronger and each client is served that much better. Our focus is to identify and provide the very best financial services and solutions available to clients and their shareholders. For more information about our services, please call us at 512-267-2430 or visit us on the web at www.smallcapvoice.com.